I'd sniff and I'd grab a cocaine in one go, and I'd sniff tequila up near the nose as well,
right,
up near the nostril, and then I'd just, you know, I was just, me always got to try and do more than anybody else.
right.
Do you know what I mean? And then it would just get to that stage where I was just totally just out of it.
Welcome, Andy. Thank you so much for being with me and having a chat. You've certainly got a story to tell and a life that you've lived. So why don't we start at the beginning, and why don't you tell me just a little bit about what it was like growing up, where you grew up, and just what your character was like as a kid.
Yeah, it's nice to be here. Thank you.
No worries.
Well, when I was a young lad, I was just always with my dad. My dad was a boxer. My uncle was a boxer. My brother was a boxer. That's how I got into the boxing scene. I had a great childhood. My dad had got horses and stuff. I was a bit different to other kids. When I was after school, I was on the bikes. I was out on my horse. I was always a bit different. And I just followed my dad to the boxing gyms. And then I just started learning from a young age. And then it just went through. I carried on going to the gyms up until I was 11. Then I was able to box to have my first proper amateur boxing fight at the age of 11.
Wow.
And I carried on from the age of 11 up until I was in my 30s without a year off. You know, I loved it that much.
Yeah.
You know,
so I guess, did you get a lot of advice and kind of training within the family then as well?
Yeah, because my dad was a good boxer. So, you know, and you know, it was something I wanted to pursue and I wanted to do, and I wanted to be the best at it, you know. And I won, like, out of all my, like, over 100 amateur fights, I won, like, nearly most of them, like, over 85% of them.
Right.
You know, and I loved it, to be honest. I love I know it's a hard boxing game, but, you know, it's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you were that young, like, how many hours would you have to put in to train then at that age?
Yeah, well, you know, I used to get to the gym, like, most days, you know, after school and stuff like that. I never wanted to go to school, to be honest.
Right.
You know, I was a bit naughty at school. You know, I didn't do very well at school. I was naughty. But, you know, because I wasn't interested in schoolwork or anything, I was interested in boxing.
Yeah.
Do you know? And I just wanted to be a boxer.
Yeah, I suppose if you found something that you were that good at, especially at that age, it's quite exciting, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's no surprise you wanted to kind of keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess going from being like a newbie and training, realising you've got a kind of gift for it, what changed in your life when you went from being a newbie to like an established boxer?
Well, from the age of 11, as the years went by, I was entered into different championships and stuff. And I carried on all the way through up until I was like 17 and winning like most championships and stuff like that. And then I was picked to box for England to represent my country, which is like, you know, the greatest thing you can do as an amateur boxer is to captain your country.
Right.
And that was, you know, I captained my country at home and abroad, in Bulgaria, you know, in Germany, you know, in England. And, you know, that's just to have the national anthem played to represent your country is, you know, the number one middleweight for your country is just, you know, I know better, you know, there's nothing better. You've reached the highs that you're representing your country.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, that was just an amazing experience to, you know, to go over and up to the other countries as well and represent your country over there. Yeah. You know, and it was just a wonderful experience to have that national anthem played, and just, especially when they made me captain as well. That was wonderful.
Yeah, it's quite an honour, isn't it?
Yeah,
and, you know, the country are there behind you as well.
Yeah.
So obviously your story involves a story of addiction and kind of turn into drink and drugs.
Yeah.
What kind of caused you to kind of start drinking and enter that world?
Well, what sort of tended to happen is, because I was winning most of my fights, I was tending to have a drink after me to celebrate my boxing victories. And it just started off as a celebration drink. And I liked the taste of drink. I liked the way it made me feel. I just liked it. And it started from then, to be honest. And then I was, all the way through my career then, to be honest, I was battling with the drink once I'd got the taste for it. All the way through my juniors, I was okay.
Right.
You know, but when I started to go into senior boxing, you know, from the age of 18, when I was old enough to drink, I was always fighting to have a drink.
Yeah.
You know.
Did it really affect your training or anything like that, or was it kind of you were just going full steam ahead with both?
It for a while it was never a problem. I was just a social drinker. I was just a drinker at weekends, or I was just I was just normal. You know, nobody sets out to be an alcoholic. It just builds up over time. But I pursued my boxing career. But as my boxing career was taking off, my drinking career was taking off as well.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So where did you realise, or what point did you get to where you realised like this is a problem, or did you realise?
Well, I carried it for years and years, and I managed to box well and still drink at the same time. You know. I really did, and I don't know to this day now I'm like older how I did manage to do it, but I did. You know, I did manage to do it. I can truthfully say I never reached my potential because of me drinking and my lifestyle. But when you're that age, I was that strong and tough, and I just thought I'm invincible. And I'd got that boxer's mentality where I just thought nobody can beat me anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like that. And I was strong, and and I just thought, well, I can do both.
Yeah.
But as the years go on, and you get older, and your body starts to change a little bit as well, where you're not so strong as you get older, and then things started to change, and then it started to become a little bit of a problem. It didn't just get straight into a massive problem. It gradually built up over time.
Right.
I was still able to compete with the best all the way through. I was Chris Eubank's main sparring partner on his world tour, and I was still drinking most nights.
Right.
And for title fights and stuff like that, and sparring with Nigel Benn, Joe Calzaghe, everything. I was still drinking every night. I was still sparring with them.
Right.
And I was still able to hold my own, even though I was still drinking.
Yeah.
And then it just, when I got a bit older, a bit farther, a bit older, the problem just increased.
Right, I'm with you. So when the problem was at its worst, how much would you be drinking?
Oh, at its worst. Well, I can't put a figure on it.
Right.
To be honest, because I've gone from, when I became, I just went from like being a normal social drinker into like a massive binge drinker.
Right. Okay.
Then the binge drinking would last all weekend.
Right.
Non-stop all weekend. Then I went from binge drinking all weekend to lasting all week.
Right. So it's just a gradual
thing. then I could last. Then it'd last all week into 2 weeks, and then it'd last 3 weeks, where I should just consume. And I turned into the sort of alcoholic that I used to drink and drink and drink till I physically couldn't drink another drop.
Right.
Till my body wouldn't allow me to drink another drop. And then I would have to just suffer and suffer and suffer to get through it, to get well.
Yeah.
And then I'd do it again.
Yeah.
I'd do it again. There's just the compulsion to drink. I think that the worst, the one newspaper did an article on me, the Sunday Mercury, where I drank 16 bottles of Jack Daniels in 4 days.
Right.
Now that's enough to kill somebody.
Yeah, of course.
I couldn't. I tried everything to stop. I tried everything in my own strength to stop.
Do you think then that you were unable to stop in your own strength? Because I know you had kind of a turning point in your life where you found your faith. Do you want to tell us a bit about how that happened and how you kind of met with Christ?
But I mean, that went on for years, to be honest. I struggled for years, and I kept thinking I can beat this addiction on my own. And then I started to take drugs as well at the same time. When the two went hand in hand. I'd sniff an old gram of cocaine in one go, and I'd sniff tequila up near the nose as well,
right,
up near the nostril, and then I was just me, always got to try and do more than anybody else.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And then it would just get to that stage where I was just totally just out of it. you know. But I tried everything, and somebody said to me, "Go to Alcoholics Anonymous," and so you know I went and give it a go. I thought I'll give it a go, and they talked of a higher power, and I thought higher power. I don't know about that. I ain't interested in that. You know, I'll do it myself. I thought it was a lot of rubbish, to be honest. And but you know, I kept going to these meetings, and I met new people and new you know, other alcoholics, and I didn't realise I was on my own. You know, so Alcoholics Anonymous is a good fellowship. Right. You know, and you talk to people with the same problems, because when you think you were just on your own.
Yeah.
And I got friends with quite a few people, swap phone numbers and stuff like that. And I got myself a sponsor. You know, even though I still kept failing, having a bit of sobriety, failing, having a bit of sobriety, having a binge on the drink, having a binge on the drugs. It was just a roller coaster, to be honest. You know, it stripped me of everything. Like, I went from being a local hero to being a local drunk, where I was on the back page of the paper for me fighting,
right,
and I was on the front page for me drinking and you know, and all my trouble, what it caused and stuff like that. You know, but it went that bad that I was just, you know, I'd actually sick into a pint glass, sick pure vodka, then I'd just drink the pint of vodka. That's how bad I'd got.
Yeah.
Because I was just isolated, stuck in a room. There's no pleasure in that, but I was just so addicted.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're
just in that place.
Nobody know what to do. I mean, my dad, who was my trainer, who was me, you know, everything. They all knew what to do. I lost my marriage. I lost a lot of things, you know. It just stripped me of everything, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, it really, really took me, you know, to the depths of despair.
Right.
You know.
And is that when you then became a Christian? How did that come about?
Well, what happened was, you know, I thought, you know, I'd got some sobriety, and I went to a boxing event, and somebody pushed a drink my way, and I thought I'll only have one, you know, and it finished up. You know, I finished up isolated, stuck in a room.
Right.
And that binge just lasted for nearly 2 weeks. And in that, I just consumed that much alcohol. You know, it was just absolutely horrendous. And but before that, like, you know, I just kept trying to beat it in my own strength. You know what I mean? And that last drink, that lasted for, like I said, for 2 weeks, and then I couldn't cope. No more. I just couldn't cope. And my girlfriend found the pastor of our local church and found my friend John Crampton, and they asked him to come and pray for me.
Right.
Because, like, the spirit of death was over me, to be honest. They didn't know what to do. They thought I was on my last legs.
Yeah.
And they prayed for me. John Crampton and Steve Hoyd, they came, prayed for me. I'd already tried to commit suicide by this time, you know, and I'd already tried it and it didn't work, you know, and I'd had so many ups and downs, you know, prison sentences, all sorts of stuff, you know, and you know, it really, really did strip me of everything. But I was coming off this particular binge, and I remember what they'd said at AA about a higher power, and I just dropped on my hands and knees. I just said, God, if you're real, I said, if you're real, I said, you take my addictions away from me. I said, I'll follow you for the rest of my life.
Right.
And he did.
And he did. It is really emotional.
He did. I had like euphoric feeling where I felt the presence. I can't explain it. I just felt the presence of God just move all over my body. And from that day, that was on the 28th of October 2015. Mm-hmm. And I never had another drink again since. You know. And I got baptised on 15th of November 2015. And my life has just changed so much since then, you know.
Well, I can see, obviously you can tell it's really authentic, and when you meet the presence of God, the emotion is real.
Yeah.
So incredible that you didn't have another drink as well. Like, God is he's so patient, and he just completely stripped that from you then.
He just removed it. I don't even have to work at it. It's totally gone. I mean, you know, it's just totally removed it. When I go and I talk to people, or I talk to other groups or recovery groups or other stuff, and they say, don't you ever get the urge for a drink, or if you've been on a holiday, or I says, listen, I say, when I ask God to remove my addiction, I'll follow it for the rest of my life. I says, that's what he did. I says, I don't have to work at it. I says, I haven't got the devil on my shoulder no more telling me to have a drink. I said, he removed it. And I said, and I'll do my end by saying I'll follow him for the rest of my life. You know, and I says, you know, I mean, my favourite Bible verse is 2 Corinthians. The old is gone, the new is here.
Yeah.
You know, because I am a new creation.
You've experienced it
You know.
firsthand. So it's very clear that God has completely changed your life. Obviously, you mentioned the drink, done with. Has your character changed at all?
Everything's changed. My mind's renewed. Everything's changed. My whole life has changed.
Yeah.
You know, for the better. You know, anyone who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved, and that's what I did.
Right.
You know, Romans 10:13. You know, that's what I did. You
Yeah.
know, I called on him, and he answered. You know, and my life today is just totally different from the life I led before.
Yeah, you can't really go back from that once you've had that encounter.
Well, Jesus ain't going to die twice for it, is he?
So you've written this book. What made you write a book, and what was your hope for it?
This book came about. I was so broken and so lost. My girlfriend, Dr. Angela Quinn, bought me a book, bought me a journal, and says to try and self-help yourself. Just write down some of the world champions that you've been in the ring with, because I was in such a mess. I said just to try and self-help yourself. I never knew. I had no intention to be a book or anything. It just turned into a book. I said just start writing to try and self-help yourself, because I was broken, shivering, alcoholic, drunken, drug addict, mess.
Right.
And I says, you're not that man. Look at all the world champions you've been in the ring with. Look at you represented your country. Look how strong and a tough guy you are. You know, and I said, just start writing. I said, to try and get some of the feeling back of who you are.
Yeah.
You know, and it turned into a book. I got my diaries out, and I got different scrapbooks out, and from my boxing career and different things, and I've written it myself with a pen and paper. I've no ghostwriter, no nothing.
Right.
I've just written it myself, and I got my cousin Jacob Pritchard to put it onto Microsoft Word, and I sent it to a few publishers, well, quite a few, and they all wanted it. They all offered me a deal.
Oh wow.
You know, and here it is. You know,
Yeah.
Jesus in my corner. It's reached so many people and brought so many people to Christ. It's helped so many people with addictions. It's helped so many people with lost. I've sent loads into prisons.
Right.
I've given hundreds and hundreds away. You know, because the way I am today, I don't work for myself. I work for Christ.
Right. Of
You
course.
know, and that's how this book came about. You know, and I'm really blessed because there's no other name than Jesus.
Yeah.
And to have a book called Jesus in My Corner, God has allowed that.
Yeah.
You know, he is allowed that to, you know, that book to be the way it's going. So
Yeah,
it's been a great success to be
And to claim the name of Jesus as well.
Of course it is. You know,
What does Jesus in my corner mean to you?
it means everything, because you know it just give me a new life. You know, because you know I was gone. I was broken. I don't take no credit for none of this. You know, I was totally lost, and Jesus came into my life. Me being a boxer, I called it Jesus in my corner because it just seemed to be fitting for it, you know, because I invited Jesus in, and he was in my darkest hour, you know, he answered my prayers, and he just gave me a new life. And I just also want to encourage anybody today, if they're going through anything like that, you know, just to get to God, just get to Jesus and just ask him. Just ask him with your right motives, and ask him with a pure heart, and he will answer you.
Yeah.
You know, he will. He will. He answered me, and look the way I was. And there's nothing too big for our God. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
He's bigger than anything.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what you're going through, or no matter what, you know, and just go to him and ask him, you know, and he'll deliver.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a brilliant title because life can be a fight sometimes, can't it?
Yeah.
But if you've got Jesus on your side, he wins every time. So it is brilliant. Are there any testimonies of people that have maybe read the book, or people you've met along the way that you might be able to share, or any people that pop into your mind?
There's quite a lot. I went up to Scotland, to Edinburgh, to Willie and Linda Hutton, and I've done a talk up there. They had 8 people saved. There's people in prisons contacted me. They've said, we've read your book, we've been set free. I recently had one contact me on Messenger saying, I've read your book and I've given up drinking and drugs. I'm following Jesus. There's lots. There's really, really lots. And that to me is better than anything.
Yeah.
That was the whole purpose, because God's got a purpose for every one of our lives, all of us. He didn't just save me because I was a boxer. He saved me because I meant it when I asked him that I would follow him. And anybody who wants the same sort of thing, just be truthful. You can't trick him. But he's got a purpose for every single one of our lives, every single one. And that's what I believe. I was saved, and this is my main purpose. If I'd probably been a world champion or anything like that, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Right.
So but I believe, anybody who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved.
Yeah, and sharing our stories is such a big tool in sharing the love of God, what he's done in our lives, and you clearly have a great story to share. Were you ever worried about sharing your story or kind of concerned about what people might think, or were you just all in?
No, I'm all in. I'm so passionate about it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it that, tough guys love Jesus also. Tough guys, love Jesus. Jesus is for everyone.
Yeah.
For every single one of us. Like I said, we've all got different gifts. We've all got different purposes. Jesus, there's no favourites. It's just his love just shines through everything. And I'm just privileged to be here, just to represent. I've been on boxing. I've boxed on TV, but this, for me, this is better than any title fight because I'm representing Jesus on TV.
Right.
So this is like the pinnacle for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess it's not just you on your own anymore. When you were boxing, it was just you. But this is
exactly.
different.
When I was boxing, I was, but to represent Jesus on TV is the best thing ever for me, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful. And so, is there any way that people can get involved with your ministry or support it or find out more about it?
My ministry is www.jesusinmycorner.com. And they can just contact me through that. They contact me through Facebook. And just, my ministry is about reaching people who wouldn't normally go to church.
Right.
A different type of things, because when they see somebody like me, I've been in prisons, I've been in different places, when they see somebody like me preach, Jesus loves you, he's got a purpose for your life, because, they see somebody like me and they think, well, he's lived the high life, he's lived the low life, he's lived every life, and he's a tough man, and he's like, and they listen, and they're intrigued, and they think, well, he's there's something in it, like, But if anybody wants, me to come to, get to their church, their outreach, their prison, their anything, just contact me. They can either contact me through Facebook or through my ministry, But I never turn nothing down, because I don't work for myself no more. I work for Jesus.
Right.
He gave me a new life, and I got to honour what I said. Well, our deal was, I said, you take my addictions away. I said, I'll follow you for the rest of my life.
You're locked in now, and it's a great place to be, really.
There ain't no better, is there?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I think it's brilliant what you say about people having an idea of what a Christian would look like or what churches look like, when actually it's everyone and anyone that God wants to invite into his family. So I think it's fantastic, all that you're doing. And your story is brilliant. It makes me a bit emotional. But I guess for the people watching, would you have any advice for them if they're struggling with like an addiction, or maybe they're just in a dark place? What would you say to them?
I would say don't suffer on your own. Get help. Get help. Do as much as you can. If there's anybody suffering with alcoholism, drug addiction, sicknesses, anything. But, for me, Jesus is the answer to all our problems. Because if you go to Jesus with the right motives, with a honest heart, he will answer your prayer. He will answer. He answered me. And he will answer anybody who goes with the right motives.
Yeah.
Your heart has to be right. If you're asking for the wrong motives, you might not get answers, what you're looking for. But if you ask with the right motives, like I did, you will get the answers.
Yeah, you can't fake it, can you?
You can't trick Jesus. No.
No, exactly. What are you hoping to achieve next? Do you have any plans coming up, or what you'd love to see in the next kind
I
of
just
few
want
years?
to just grow my ministry and just keep reaching out to as many people as I can. You know, I've done so much in a short space of time, and a lot of the Christian events that I've been to, you know, I mean, I've had a standing ovation. A lot of prisons, I've had a standing ovation, because being a prisoner myself, they want to listen to someone like me. You know, they don't. You know, it's when you've been a prisoner yourself and a tough guy, and been a doorman and a debt collector and you know, live that life of crime as well and stuff like that. You know, they listen because they understand. You know, I can relate to them. You know, and I just want to grow the ministry as much as I can, and you know, just reach out to keep helping. I'm gonna honor what I said. You know, I said, Jesus, you take my addictions away, I'll follow you, and I want to bring as many disciples as I can.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the goal, isn't it?
And that's my goal. You know, because like I said, I don't work for myself no more. I work for Jesus. You know, and He supplies all our needs according to His. So.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and I'm honestly so thankful for you sharing your story with me today. Like, I feel very encouraged, very inspired. So thank you for joining me.